Hey everyone. Hopefully everyone is powering through this Saturday of the convention and everyone's enjoying the sessions that they've been going to. I have the great pleasure of introducing Dr. Tiffany Jones. I met her in 2010 when I was playing with the Atlanta Bee in the WPS. I had torn my ACL just 4 days into preseason. So if anyone's gone through an ACL, you know how much of a mental battle that is. Fortunately, I had Dr. Tiffany Jones there with me, guiding me through that process. So let's give a big hand to Tiff for her session.
It's hard with that, right? I know. All right, everyone. This is the Temple women's soccer team, and they're not real thrilled with me right now because all you have to say is I'm not a coach and I'm in sports psych, and they all went, what? And they are asking 8 million questions like, how much do we have to run? What do you mean mental? So if you were in my whole generation, and I laugh at them, but there's the biggest C in the room. Raise your hand, Pink. Yeah, she's a C. If anyone wants to know the disc profile and probably who's a super high C, because she's trying to ask me 8 million questions already. Is she your question asker? Hypotheticals all the time, wants to know everything? Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a couple sessions or activities, exercises, where we're going to discuss, if you were in my session yesterday, and I'll quickly explain it for those who weren't, is there's 3 different mentality zones that a team or an athlete can be in. And they go from red, blue, green. Red, just quickly think about it. It's like pissed off, worrisome thoughts, negative thoughts. I'm going to need this. Yeah. Negative thoughts, worrisome, like I suck, the team sucks, my coach sucks, like, you know, all the good stuff that they're probably thinking when they're in the red. We can never win, whatever. Green zone is what drives coaches really crazy, because green zone is chill, like just lackadaisical, sloth-like. You'll hear things like, oh man, it's just practice. Oh, I don't want to be here. Oh, when is this over? And so you'll hear like all those kinds of things. Or you'll hear in a game, oh, we should kill this team. I'm always like, well, have you gone over to tell the other team that you're going to kill them and they should just lie down? So those are danger things. Blue zones are lock-in, laser-focused. Not that their team's not taking risks or making mistakes, but they can respond. It's the response. It's the fight to stay in the blue. A lot of players or teams succumb to the red, or they just give up and succumb to the green. And mental toughness are the athletes or teams or coaches who, even on a bad day with all the negative thoughts, with all the things going around, they are willing to fight. And they have the mechanisms in place to go and stay or get themselves back into blue quickly. This is not confidence. Confidence comes from practice and repetition. And we need to put our players through the proper practice and repetition, and we'll show where we're talking about these things. I was just talking to them, sorry, Temple coaches, but they were just laughing because I said, how many times do your coaches go, you have to focus? And they're like, no crap, coach, how? You need to hit the net. Really? No, we're missing just to piss you off. Is it working, coach? Like, those are not hows. Or you need to breathe, and they're like, we are breathing. Like, how? Because if they knew the how, they would do it. And so we've got to come up with, and this helps, asking them, what are you thinking right now? What are you feeling right now? What are you seeing? What are you hearing from your teammates? Is that blue or is it green and red? If it's green or red, what are you going to do? What are your hows as a team or an individual or as a coach to get them back into the blue? And that's not going to just happen in a game. They've got to practice it, which means all of you are going to have to be patient and be thoughtful with what you say. But they're laughing. They're like, yeah, our coaches, man. Sorry, guys. Look at them. They're like, she's throwing us under the bus. Do you want them to learn? Okay, good. So I told them I'd help them. I'm going to torture them, but in the long run, it will hopefully help them. Okay, so we're going to put them into a brain endurance session where I physiologically am going to put them in the red zone. and they're just coming off a Christmas break and haven't touched a ball or done anything. So it's not going to be that hard for me now to gas them, but we're going to gas them because then I want to see how mentally tough they are. They're like, oh, now we're going to get into real deep stretching. Now it's like game on, let's go. They've had 30 minutes to do this, and now it's like go time. All right, ladies, down here. You can leave the balls, no balls. Oh, God. I'm not putting you on a line. I already told them there's no running, it's just burpees in the grid. Okay. They don't like me because I've just been making fun of them. Okay. I'm a big humor. If you want to do, just laugh. You know, what else are you going to do? All right, so they're broken into two teams, green and maroon, two separate teams. Losing team will have burpees. Winning team, you're good. So what's going to happen is you guys are going to have to, when you're in this grid, constantly be on your toes and moving. You also cannot touch anyone from your own team or from someone else's team. So go ahead, while I'm explaining, you guys can start moving. If I see someone hit each other or touch each other, we all stop and we do burpees. We'll do 10 if I see anyone. So I didn't say I had to be fast. My goodness, making it a little more challenging. Okay, so now, while they're doing this, and they're not even listening to me right now, because they're trying to figure out not how to bump into each other, I'm going to give instructions, and you all better listen to the instructions because I'm not repeating them. Okay? Oh, now we're shushing. Okay, good. All right. So what's going to happen is there's 4 points in here that if I can yell out, so let's pay attention. There's a blue rod over here. Do you see it? That doesn't mean stop moving. You should be able to see and move and think and do all that at the same time. Okay? You guys see the red over on the other side? Pole? Okay? You guys see the 2 discs? The blue and the yellow? Yeah, we're good with that? Okay. Those are your points. Okay, so I could say blue is number 1. So that blue stick is number 1. Red stick, number 2. 1, 2, got it. Yellow disc, 3. Blue disc, 4. You understand? You're good? Thumbs up? Can I get a thumbs up? Some kind of reaction from you? No wonder. You got to give. Oh, I left this little circle, inner circle, outer circle. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I can yell 1, 3, 2, 4. If I do that, you've got to run to those items in order. There can be no hesitation out of this box, and there can be no uh-oh, because if there's an uh-oh, we all stop and do burpees. Also, 1 player from each team will go at the same time. You all have to decide who those players are going, and you cannot repeat going until everyone on your team is gone at least once. So I'm going to let them figure that out for a second. There's a lot going on right now, but they're college. Well, I mean, like I said, they're 18 to 22-year-olds, but they're really 12 to 16-year-olds. So they got to sort this out while they're moving into teams who might have different strategies. I don't know. My big thing is I want them to learn in the heat of the moment why they start getting physiologically red, maybe frustrated mentally. How are they going to make good decisions and problem solve together without the ball? Because if they can't do this without the ball, not in a soccer or sport context, how the heck are they going to do it when they have the ball at their feet? This is easy to set up. You can start a practice like this. Get them going. Get them thinking. How we doing? We good? All right. So I'm not repeating what numbers or what things. All you have to do is, oh, by the way, let me throw in a little twist. So 1 is blue. You just touch that one. 2 is red. Red, you have to run by it, then come back, and then touch it. Don't go what? You'll figure it out. Yellow, you have to touch with your right foot. Blue, you have to touch with your left foot. Talk to each other. So often what happens is you'll see some people, and some of them are going into, I'm done, forget it. They're only going to be as good as their weakest link. So someone can't just check out of this game because there's going to be consequences with that. Oh yeah, some are already looking at me going, not going to happen, Tiff. All right, ready? I better see one player from each team soaring out of here. And here's the consequence. Second player back in the box, that team does 10 burpees. Ready? 1, 3, 2, 4. Oh. Oh, my C. Maroon, you actually are going to do 15 burpees because she didn't touch the discs. Go. Green, you got to still move. Come on, Maroon, let's go. Wherever you want to do them. So that matters to me. You all are like, what happens under pressure? What happens with fatigue? And her not touching the disc matters to me. Because that's simple, right? I said touch, right foot left. So missing it matters. The thing is if you're doing this with a younger team, a lot of people are like, I can't do burpees. I don't care if you do star jumps or whatever. You have to explain why I'm doing the consequence. I'm not mad at them. I could care less. But the only thing I know to create some mental pressure, physiological, increasing the red, is to have consequences. And they'll tell you, probably when I ask them, is that if there weren't burpees, okay, that they wouldn't be as locked in and focused. They wouldn't be accountable. So we'll see. We're going to catch them in the act now. Hey, guys, what are we thinking right now? Ladies, I shouldn't say guys. What are we thinking? Truth. Think.
Will you slide on the thing?
Oh, now you're making excuses about sliding on the things. Excellent. Okay. Woo! It's funny because your teammate had no issue touching them, but okay. Other things. And that's a thing. That's an honest thought. Her honest thought is, I slid. That tells you something as a coach. That should start to give you, I know it's scary. That's scary. Going, oh, great, my kid is making excuses. Fantastic. They're like, we're never answering any questions again. What else are we thinking, honestly? What are we thinking? Feeling? What are we feeling? Oh, still feeling. Well, you're in green zone and you're not in blue. How are we feeling? Winded. Stressed. Why? Why? No more. Oh, stressed because I don't want to go. I don't want it. Why don't you want to go? The pressure of everything is too much. I don't want to mess up. Okay, what else? The great thing too is if you can get them in the red physiologically, like they don't like censor what they're feeling or thinking, which again can be scary as a coach or it can be really revealing. Right now, I'm already thinking about things that they could start to work on and the hows. What a great debrief section. All right, we ready? We ready? 3, 2, 1, 4. Oh, we're just going. Did they hit it? Isn't that driving you nuts if you're a coach? Is that absolutely just driving you insane that they don't have that detail? Okay, 15 burpees for both teams because you did not hit the disc again. So I'm okay with a mistake. When it is a controllable mistake on the second time, back-to-back mistakes, that's a mental, gang. That's not physical or not understanding. Yes, that's a detail. That's going to come back in the 80th minute and haunt you when you're under pressure and stress. Oh, we love Christmas break. Woo! I'm just helping your strength coach right now. A lot of huffing and puffing, ladies. Woo! So again, I'm doing this a little bit I need to get them tired. But it's interesting, the little things that are going to happen. I'll go back and ask them again what they're thinking or feeling. Get moving. If you're done, move. I won't kill you. You'll get a break in a second. They're like, you're killing us. What are we thinking or feeling now? What are we thinking and feeling? Hey, pay attention to me. What are we thinking and feeling? Don't want to be here. Annoyed. What? Mad I messed up. Okay. Anything else? So mad we messed up. Don't want to be here. Huh? Okay. Okay. Oh, they couldn't hear you. All right, so communication. Okay, well, you're going to try one more, and then we'll have a little break. Maybe some of the coaches have some questions for you. Okay, ready? Remember, it has to be someone who's not gone yet. 4, 3, 2, 1. No, these are not your U10s. All right, both teams 10 because you both jacked that up. So do 10. I don't even know what happened. So you can see something and I've done this all different ways. When a team gets really good, you reverse order. Like you just have a list and you call out players so they never know when they could be called out. So I'll have a list of the team and I'll just start reading off names and they've got to go. I've done reverse order. I do things with a ball. So if you want to incorporate ball work and do things that are more soccer, I stick away from some of the soccer stuff game because I don't want to insult any of you because this is what you do for your career. And though I played soccer, I'm not a coach. So I'm not going to try to set up these really cool, fancy soccer, but incorporate anything soccer with a ball. Okay, ladies, come over here with me. Okay, truly, because I'm going to try to help you with the house, coaches. I'm going to give an example. All right, gang, so now what are we thinking? How are we thinking? Be honest. There's no right or wrong answer. What are we thinking?
I hate burpees.
Okay. So does everyone. Isn't that great? Okay. What else? Huh?
Don't want to go for the next round.
Oh, don't want to do the next round. Great. Okay.
Like we all need to calm down.
Okay. How would be my next question, right? Because if a coach tells you to calm down, you just told me that pisses you off when your coach tells you to calm down, right? And then you're like, we need to calm down. How?
Like maybe just discuss it amongst each other and figure out a game plan to communicate effectively because I keep saying it, but I feel like it's a big part of it.
Okay, so how could you better communicate? So that's great, right? We talk about we need you to communicate better. How? So how?
Like maybe designate one person in your team who's going to talk
right.
person through it so that they can hear.
Okay. So this is perfect. Think about at the end of the game what happens when you're physiologically red or even start to go mentally red. Everyone starts screaming, right? We either scream or we shut down and we have no communication. Isn't it awesome if we practice on a regular basis? What happens when we go red and our communication is not effective? What is our how? Our how could be is we have a couple people we know on the field that when they're in the red or we start to go red, they can communicate really well. So our how is, and it can't just be one person because what if she's injured or not on the field, correct? So it's having that designated people. But I don't always want it to be the same people all the time because then they're going to graduate and you don't have anyone who's practiced this. And this is a skill. This is a learned skill. Other things that we're thinking. You look annoyed. So body language wise right now, I'm annoyed, pissed off. What are you really thinking though? I'm guessing based on your body language.
Yeah, annoyed, trying to figure out what a better way we could figure out how to execute it correctly.
Okay.
I think the stress of all of it is making everyone overthink the exercise and we just need to
Okay, good. And what's not good, but what's creating the stress?
The competitiveness of it, wanting to win, not wanting to do burpees and trying to like tell your team which is the correct one if your teammate messes up.
Okay, so let's say individually you're in the red. Let's say just individually you're saying you're competitive, you don't want to mess up. That's kind of your thoughts, which is creating tension, stress. What is something you as an individual, what is a how? So when you recognize I'm thinking and feeling this way, this is not good. This is red zone. What is a how maybe that you've done in the past that helps you get back to the blue?
Usually like going to a teammate and just like telling them, like being honest with how you feel.
Okay.
So that maybe they can like bring something externally or like help bring you up.
Right. Does anyone know how to help her when she gets in her head? I don't think we've ever talked about that. Okay, so here's the thing, and I told you this. We're playing a team sport. Use each other. I make the joke all the time. You're not one of my golfers who all they can do is chest bump a tree. That's it. If they want to get energy, they chest bump a tree or try to go find a high five a squirrel. So like, use each other. You should know how. How can I help? Now, there needs to be individual accountability. Some people are like, well, now you're relying on your teammates. Always. Not always, but all of us struggle with negative thoughts and doubt, and it makes it challenging for us to, get out of red. Here's another question for you. How many hours of sleep did you guys get last night? Be honest.
Like 7.
7?
Yeah, probably about 7.
8, 7,
4,
4, good.
9, 7,
Okay.
8, 7, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8.
Okay. And then how many do you typically get in season? Way less than that. So they're already a hot mess right now a little bit, ranging 7 to 8. Imagine now, like what are we talking about? 6? 5. 6, 5? Okay. What if I told you that if you get 6 or less hours of sleep, you don't retain any of the memories you learned that day? Plus, your body doesn't heal and rejuvenate itself as well as if it gets 8 to 9 hours. And your brain, they're like, yeah, we know it. That makes sense. So what happens during the season when you guys start not having sleep? How are you at managing this? You're tired, and what else? Take naps. No, we gotta have a talk. Okay, what else? Are you guys cranky with each other? How's your listening ability? Oh, we're really cranky with each other. Okay, how's our listening ability? Yeah. So as I said yesterday, it's hard as a coach because you can do all these things, but if physiologically they're coming in and they're kind of a mess, right? Just because you guys got nothing in the tank, it is so hard to manage that, ladies. So hard, even if we provide you all the opportunity to learn it. So that as a college team especially is so important to take care of yourselves when you're off the field. But that's up to you, and that's a commitment thing. Okay, how are we feeling? We ready for next? Does anyone want to see more of that? You get the concept, right? I tried to make it simple. You can reverse it, twist it, do all these other kinds of things to make it fun. Add in soccer stuff, have multiple, like 3 teams, 4 teams. We needed to just keep it simple, didn't we? Okay. Okay, so let's try something else. You ready? This is a little bit probably more enjoyable for you. Okay, you're like, okay, good. All right, so I need the green team. Green team, I need you kind of standing here. Okay, right here, sitting, actually. We're going to have you sit. You're like, yes! We get to sit right here next to each other. Maroon, you're going to come and face them. What do you mean, oh, God? You don't even know. Yeah, sit. Okay. All right, this is the scary thing because now you're going to see how not good we are at finishing or hitting targets under pressure. Maybe you guys are going to surprise me and be stellar. No? Great. Here's the thing. So I hear a no. I'm like, they don't have a shot. Oh, we're good? What happens when you hear one of your teammates say, no, we're not very good? What's that? Oh, counteract it. They don't know what they're talking about. Great. You're as bad as your coaches. You're blaming them. I think you're the problem. I don't know. All right. So here's the rules. Hold hands with the person sitting next to you. No, not across. Next. Again, not a U10 team, but may feel like a U10 team. They reached across. Am I wrong? Did I say next too? Right? I'm right. Okay. Okay. So here's the game. You ready? I'm going to flip this quarter. It's just a quarter. And I can't wait for half of them to say, I don't know what a quarter heads and tails looks like because I never touch money. So heads and tails. We all know what a heads is? Big heads, tails? Okay. So I'm going to flip the coin. Only the first person in each line is going to have their eyes open. The rest of you are going to have your eyes shut. Okay? So the rest of you have your eyes shut. First person, I'm going to flip. If heads comes up, you're going to squeeze your partner's hand. If you feel a squeeze, you squeeze. If you feel a squeeze, you squeeze all the way down to the end. Last people, when you feel a squeeze, you're allowed to open your eyes. You're going to sprint, grab a ball, and you've got to strike the ball before either the blue or the red disc. You see them? And you've got to either hit one of the two yellow bags with pace. Not this. That doesn't count. Here's the catch. If I flip and tails comes up, you're not to squeeze. You're going to wait. But if a phantom squeeze goes or you squeeze accidentally and you jump up, okay, you're going to have 10 burpees. So if you jump up and you shouldn't have been jumping up because it was tails, your team will have 10 burpees. Okay? All right, now they're strategizing. Why I'm doing this? Because what's happening is right now, physiologically, they're in the green probably because they're sitting down, heart rate's coming down. What's going to happen is when the squeeze comes, they're going to have to jump up, which shoots them into physiologically red, and then they're going to somehow have to compose themselves. And how many of us have attacking players or forwards who turn into a hot mess as soon as they are like in the box and they can't hit the broadside of a barn? I see it all the time, and everyone's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, they can't hit the yellow bags here. Well, now you are under pressure because everyone's watching you, but I get it. Normally in practice, and they can't hit the broadside of a barn. And I'm like, well, if they can't do it in practice, how the heck are they going to do it in the game? Okay, so, and then that goes into, well, what should we really be practicing? So you all want to practice all these really complex skills and everything, and we can't strike a ball not with any pressure, right? Physical pressure. That's mental pressure. Are you guys ready for this? Oh, God, here we go. All right, you ready? Eyes shut. You ready? And they're off. You guys can open your eyes. So if you feel squeezed, ladies, you can open your eyes. Oh, dear God. Okay. Not really sure about that first touch, but okay. Okay, and then what's going to happen is you guys are going to slide down. You guys come up to front. All right, the other thing is, I know that was your first time, but when you're really good at this, and this is working on breathing, and guys, breathing is something that this upcoming year I'm going to be spending a lot of time on with teams. And it is a skill. Proper diaphragmatic breathing, especially when you're in the red zone physiologically and mentally, is a skill. The diaphragm is like a muscle. You got to work the muscle. We don't spend time. Swimmers, if you go to swimming spends an incredible amount of time on breath control and how to breathe. There's new research out there. Deb Raber from MCLA, my good friend, just told me about it last night. And I'm not telling you to do this yet because I need to do some research. But we always tell our kids not to grab their knees, right? When you're huffing and puffing and to do this. They're actually saying that we should be letting them to do this because this is actually where you can get in better proper breathing and it's safe. It's like, oh, whoa. I did not say this is a green light yet. I said research is out there suggesting. Yeah, it's funny what you're going to pick and choose what you want to hear there, right? So some of this is that first squeeze, guys, this is what it looked like. Oh, squeeze. Like it should be like this. But when you're tense or you're nervous you're going to make a mistake, which is what it looked like to me, it was like this. Oh, squeeze. Like it's supposed to be lightning fast, guys. Okay? Ready? What do we have? Who hit the yellow bag, actually? Okay, so it's 1-0. Here we go. Losing team, 20 burpees. Why are you saying sorry? So this one goes, sorry, guys. Oh, okay. And? Big deal? Okay. Here we go. Eyes shut. Like and I'm picking on you. I don't need you to say you're sorry. I know you're sorry. So women have this huge green 10 burpees. I don't even know what that was. Get up and do 10 burpees. They jumped up. She thought you went. Who squeezed? Oh, I love maroons just laughing at them. Who had their eyes closed then already? Someone did. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, good. All right, Maroon, how are we feeling? I see a lot of wiping hands. Are we like nervous? Sweaty? Sweaty hands? What are we thinking, feeling? What? Why? Because you're not doing the other drill? Yeah. I'm just confused. Oh, good. Okay. All right, you ready? Ready? Eyes shut? Now we're eyes shut. Oh, that was a good deep breath down there. All right, here we go. What's awesome about this, guys, is this is like biathletes. So if you watch biathlons, which is the skiing, the cross-country skiing, and then you have to shoot a rifle, it was just on the NBC network because it was qualifications, and the biathletes are at like 220 beats per minute, and within seconds, they can get their heart rate down to 40 to shoot a rifle, because the other pressure on them is if you miss a shot out of the 5, you have a penalty lap. They're like, oh, can you imagine that? You get scored on, you got to play like an extra 20 minutes or something. All right, here we go. Okay. Good response. I mean, gang, and I'm not knocking them, but this is a high-level Division I women's team. And so when they're probably 50-50 right now, with really no pressure, not that far away, well, no wonder they struggle under pressure when they start hearing, we need a goal. Do you guys hear that? We have to score. Does that help? No. Why not? We already know, and then that just adds what? Red, right? So what could someone say? What could a coach, what could a teammate say to you if you know we're down a goal, no crap, we need to score, right? We know that, right? So what could someone say besides, we need a goal, shoot? Does that really help you? We can do this, yes we can. Does it sometimes? All right, you can say you got your back, we can do it. What else, guys? What else can you lock in that's in your control that you can do that helps you and leads to opportunities to score? Well, no wonder your poor coaches don't know what to do. If this is what you're saying, is that any of that work? Well, what if I said pass and move? As soon as you play the ball, you've got to move off the ball. That's all we're looking at right now. Because what happens when you pass and move? What does that do? Creates more space. What else? More open players, more opportunities, right? So that's what I mean by the hows and being more specific. We're too abstract. Me being like, we can do it, ladies. We know, but we're not. So can we really? Like, that's what that starts to feel like, right? We know, but we're not. So can we really? All right, one more. You ready? Pressure's on because it's 1-1 right now. Losing team. Ooh, a little fight. Oh. So here's the other thing. Think. I didn't say anything about if you shoot first, you get more points. So that's what happens when you let the competitor dictate something you can control. So what could you have done? Stopped and what? Let her go and then stopped. Or were you both going for the same bag? So what could you have done? Yep. Okay. So that's that. Let's get up. I want them to ask you some questions. You guys ready for this? Come over. Sorry, we'll try to get it. So do like a semicircle. I know they're like, oh God, I told you if you don't want to talk, I'm not going to make you. Relax. She's having heart palpitations. Oh, now you're good? I can ask you questions? Oh, no. Okay. All right. So, coaches, very rarely do you get a different team that's at this caliber that you can start to ask, what did it feel? What are you thinking? What do you hear and see? You can ask them about this past season that they've had. So does anyone have any questions for them? But this is it. Ask. Because if we don't ask them, how are we going to help them? We're just making assumptions that if I say this, this is going to help her. But we're not giving them the hows or letting them come up with the hows. Are you ready for this? What's your question? Okay, if you all have a come from behind victory, or you solve a problem during a game and you win, what sparked that? They're like, we never came from behind. I don't know, I'm just saying.
I feel like it's important to like stick together like in games when we start yelling at each other. We like wouldn't be able to come back because we all get so frustrated, but if we like stick together.
So what does that communication sound like when you're sticking together? Oh, you want to do it? Okay. She's like, give me the mic. She's like, I got this.
So our first game this season, we were up, and then we went into a tie with like 6 seconds left, so we had to go to overtime. And with 6 minutes left in the game, one of our teammates shattered her shin and completely broke her leg. It took like 20 minutes to get her off the field, so that was our motivating factor. We were like, we got to win this for her, and then we ended up coming in overtime and like scoring right away and winning the game.
So were you playing? Were you on the field then?
Yeah.
So you want to do it for her. What other things did you think about then when you started to think about, I want to do this for her?
I got angry that she got hurt, so I used that as like a motivating factor. Like, you know what, I'm pissed that this happened. And just like, yeah, I guess that was it. I used my anger to motivate me.
Okay. Anyone else? Does that answer your question? A lot of it I find, especially at this level, is not only the communication obviously with each other, but it's the communication with themselves. So again, it's recognizing I'm upset, I'm frustrated, I'm saying all these things, and how do I go blue? So let me try something really fast, because this is what I want you to do. I'm going to model what I would do with a team with this graph. So give me some things. When you guys are in the red zone as a team, what are you thinking? So when you're in the red, what are you thinking?
I'm usually like, why is everyone yelling at each other? And I just like want everyone to calm down, but not really say that and figure out a way.
Okay. Come on, what else are we thinking? Come on, just be honest. What do you think when you're in the red?
I think a lot of times we get frustrated because, as you said, everyone's just yelling things like, come on, like, play better, and just things that don't generally help at all.
Yep. Anyone else thinking? What do you feel when you're in the red? Frustrated. What else? Tense. Confidence goes down. Anxious. And what does that feel like? So we say these things, I'm stressed, I'm anxious. What does that feel like? No feeling on the ball. Perfect. Not perfect, but perfect. So all of a sudden, their touch goes all over. And I find coaches assume or make the assumption they're in the green zone. They don't care. They're not trying. Look at how bad their touch is. They're not focused. And I'm like, they're in magenta color right now. They want it so badly. They're so frustrated, right? That the last thing, and so it's not that they're not trying hard, it's they're trying too hard in the wrong way. And so now they feel, what else do you feel? So no touch on the ball. What else? You lose control of the game. Okay, what else? Yes, running around with no purpose, which to me means we're psychologically in the red, so we're not making any good decisions. Decision making has gone out the window. Like, I'm just going to try to run around because I don't know what else to do, and we know that's not helpful. So again, these are right away, if I'm working with you all, these are things that we identify and we go, okay, when you feel that, when you think this, what are going to either be individual or team hows? So when you start to feel anxious, when you start to feel out of control, what is something that might work? communication you've said, which is good. So it's like making the players around you better. So talking to your teammates, being specific, not just yelling to yell. What else? Anything else that could work? Go ahead. Yeah, knowing what typically gets yourself out of it. Do you know what? Awesome. So simple. She said, if I know I'm going red, I know the very next thing I do or try, I just need to keep it simple. It might be, hey, I'm just going to knock the ball in and you knock the ball back. I just need to get some touch on it. And that's where you can communicate with a teammate. Does that make sense, ladies? Okay. What do you hear or see? And this can be from your coaches or your bench as well. So when your team is in the red, what do you hear or see? Yeah, what does body language look like? Heads are down, bodies down, which might be a good thing now, but we don't know yet, so we don't know that yet. Don't quote that. What else? I'm sorry? Yelling. Yelling what? Just all these different things, random yelling, yep. It's got to be better. That's what does that even mean? It's got to be better. No kidding. It's got to be better. We're a mess. What else? Bench quiets down, okay? What's that? Oh, so we start attacking the referees. You know how I feel about refs. No offense, referees. If you just go into a game thinking all refs are bad, then if they do anything, it's just an added bonus. So, okay. What else, ladies? Anything? We're going to dive right back into something. We're stalling, so now we're going to talk. Okay, not talk, no advice, not helpful, nothing like that. Okay. So again, they would fill this out, and then what they need to do is they come up with the hows. And you need to be involved in this in a coach. Have to be. We need to be more patient. We need to ask them these questions. How are you going to fix it? Not like that was wrong or whatever, because it's just a knee jerk. We're frustrated as coaches. We know that's frustrating that you all kept missing touching this. But I know you weren't doing it to piss me off or do it to upset your teammates, right? So I know that wasn't, but then I'm like, what is going on up here? And it's because they're physiologically and then psychologically in the red. I'm in a red response. So I either going to add on to the frustration, yes, or I got to remind you how, why, and then how. How are we going to fix it for next time? And you guys need to be armed with all of that. All right, back in the grid. Look you just learned all these things. Now you can apply. Any other quick things? I'm having them run a little bit. Start running. You know the drill. Anything from anyone? You're like, no. This is the one time you can ask them anything. Anyone? Okay. It's not hit, remember. And I am not going to remind them about what's going on. So we'll see if they can remember, because this is the thing too, is they need to be transfer what they learn early on and be able to remember and transfer it later. Now I can see. Now we have a little panic going on. We have a little yelling. Okay, cannot be someone who is gone. Cannot be someone who is gone. Are we ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, 4. Good. Good. 10 burpees, green. Just quickly, let's go. Also, when they're tense with that, they are going to have to shorten. So this also goes into biomechanical changes in their movement. You might know what zone they're in because their biomechanics change. So right away with that, she has to come in. She can't just come flying in now. and slam on the brakes because that's part of the reason why they were missing touching the discs. So that was good adaptation. They're learning like the ground is slick. No offense to AstroTurf, but this is pretty slick. And they were like running in and skidding past. So now if they recognize it and adapt, but how many times do you have a player who keeps blowing up, charges into another player, and that player just keeps going right by her and there's no adaptation? And you're like, clearly she's faster or he's faster than you. What are you doing? Why are you not making any adaptation? And part of that is because they're up here, they're not thinking through because they're red and they're frustrated. And so that was good. Both slowed down so that they made sure that they touched the discs and then go. So that was a good like physiological or biomechanical adaptation and learning from last time. Did you guys hear that? I was praising you. They're like, no, we're not paying attention to you. Oh, okay. You got me? Okay. You ready? Someone new. Someone new. Oh, we're lining up here. We're lining up. I hope we're not touching. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 4, 1. Oh boy. Woo, all right, 10 for both because that was not good for either one of you. 10 for both, here we go. Because she like was not doing, yeah. Did you? I don't know, did you get the pattern right? Yeah. Okay. Push-ups. We'll do one more of these. And again, as a coach, just sit back and listen. Sometimes you're going to pick up a lot just by sitting back and listening and trying to figure out how are they processing this information. How we doing, all right? The other thing I would want to see with this is I know really high-level teams because they talk while they're doing the burpees and they try to problem solve while they're doing the burpees. Because here's what I guarantee you they were just thinking. What are you thinking when you're doing burpees? I don't want to do them again. What else?
Hopefully we win next time.
Okay, hopefully we win next time. Anything else? What do you think when you're doing the burpees? How can I not do them next time? What else? Is anyone like these suck? Is anyone upset with the teammates who are screwing up? Why not? Okay. Is that true though? Do you guys ever get frustrated with your teammates? Yes. Okay, just checking, because that's real. All right, one more. Someone different. 4, 1, 3, 2, 3. Good. Green, do 10, and you're done. And then come back over here. Yeah, Maroon, you can keep jogging. Okay, questions? There's a lot of these. This was just simple for me to set up. Sometimes I don't want to do it, but I have a collection of these that you either can just throw in at the beginning of practice. I think this is, if you do something like this, it's going to help your game performance in terms of how do you start in a game. A lot of coaches tell me that teams are slow to start, and it takes them into halftime to figure it out. And I think a lot of times that's because practices are slow to start. And they waltz in going, well, we'll wait for a coach, and we'll wait to get into the blue zone. And they're waiting for something competitive or, gosh, I only know what they're waiting for, but they're not in the blue. So they start in the green. All right, ladies, you can go back over here. Good. Whew. Okay, so they start in the green, and then it takes all of this to get them into the blue zone. I would just bam, right away, we're doing something competitive to start every practice, and then you're gonna have to be in the blue, and there's a winning and a losing team. You're like, oh, what do you think if we did that in practice? Here, spread out so they can see. Ideally, this is stuff I would love to have happen when they're youth athletes, because then by the time you get them as a college, they're used to doing these things. They're used to having to solve problems while they're doing something else. We need our soccer players in this country to be able to solve problems in the heat of the moment and not look over the bench or not wait till halftime. And we need to empower them, and it starts here. What do you think about this? Is this stuff that you like? I mean, well, temper, I know you don't like the burpees. But what if there were no burpees? What would happen? What? Oh, it would be fun. So that wasn't fun? It was competitive, so it was fun. Now you're going to also start to see the different DISCs here, responses. So that was fun. But what if I didn't put burpees on that? What would happen to your team's performance? It would drop. Why? You wouldn't try as hard. And there's a gender difference here sometimes, because I find the girls or women, I do need to put the burpees on. The guys, that's really to push them even more red or fuchsia, because typically my guys want to win. Not all the time. I am definitely stereotyping, but typically because of social differences, or we don't want to make each other look bad or hurt each other or whatever it is, and we tiptoe. We need to, at the younger levels, teach our girls, our women, how to compete, and that it's okay to go at your teammate, and it's not personal. I'm not being a jerk by doing it, but what I'm finding, especially in the younger ages, is if you have an exceptional girl, the rest of the team tries to dumb her down and bring her back in the fold. They ostracize her. They don't go, oh my God, she is a rock star. I want to be like her. Let me go chase her. We go, hey, you're making us look bad. Hey, can you slow down? Don't run. Am I right? They're kind of like, when you were younger, they're like, no, I was always the best player on the team, so I don't know what you're talking about. These are the things, and doing this also helps. What else did you think about this? What if every practice you kind of did some kind of cognitive training where you had to work on these things?
I think we'd get like really good at it, and I think that would be really helpful for us because it
Okay.
goes into the field and games.
Yep. Oh, you're going to talk.
Something I've been reading about is that when you're uncomfortable, you get better. It's better
Right.
to be uncomfortable than comfortable.
Right. Do you buy it? Okay, you think so? Yeah, I mean, that's the new thing, right? If you guys aren't playing on the edge of your ability, and if you're playing on the edge of your ability, you're going to be uncomfortable, right? And the only way to get better is to play on the edge of your ability, be uncomfortable, and take risks. How many of you sometimes are fear of making a mistake? Why? Why are you afraid to make a mistake? Be honest. What is causing you to be afraid to make a mistake? Be honest. Oh, I can tell you're trying to temper. Don't want to let your team down. Are you going to talk? No.
Yeah, you don't want to let your team down, and you don't want to, like, if you're a defender, if you get beat, then they're like scoring.
Okay.
You don't want to get yelled at.
By whom?
Your coach.
Ah, okay.
I agree.
You don't want to be yelled at by coach, okay?
I agree.
Agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
Ooh.
I agree.
I agree.
Yep. You don't want to get taken out the game.
Oh, you don't want to be taken out of the game. Okay. Are you a forward? Oh, okay.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay. Coaches, God love us all, and I can do this too, is we say, I want you all to take risks. Go ahead and take risks. But then our body language and what we say is we're only good with the risk if the result is what we want. I see it all the time. You can watch. Coaches are always like, I just want my kids to take risks. And then I watch the coach in the game, and they're throwing their hands in the air. They're like slamming their hands down. They're yelling and saying, don't do that. Well, now you're sending mixed messages. If we really want our players to take risks, we've got to live with the bad and the ugly results sometimes. Now, I understand not making back-to-back same mistakes, because then I know you're not processing that one and you don't have a how. And so I'll take you out of the game because I don't want you to get so sucked into the red you're never coming back out. So I'm saving you from yourself. But there's good risks. I like here where you slowed down to touch the disc so you didn't blow by it and miss the disc. That was a good adaptation. You learned from your teammates' mistakes prior to you. Does that make sense? So coaches, really be aware, what am I truly saying via my body language and all of that afterwards? But you're hearing all of them don't want to get yelled at. And a lot of us are like, well, then suck it up and be mentally tough. But the reality is they don't want to be yelled at. That is what they're thinking. That's what they're feeling. So we can talk to them about that, but also we can create an environment that makes it easier for our players to get into the blue. Yes? Make sense? You guys have anything? You have something to say? Or are you good? Oh, good. I thought you were going to wrap it up for us. Any question? Any last? Yes, sir. Who makes the comment that kind of upsets you? I definitely heard coach in there. What else? I'm sorry? How it's said? Talk to me about that. What do you mean how it's said? Okay, well, we'll talk about that. The one thing I will push back on players on, and some of this is the DISCs and how they like to be communicated to and receive information, is that I don't have time for tone. Like when we're in the heat of the moment, I'm going to yell out information but I can understand consistency of tone. So as a coach, if you're going to get upset or frustrated with something, then it should be always a frustration, not if you're up 5 or down 5 or whatever. There needs to be consistency. So sometimes I had a player I played with who was on me all the time. She was like always on me. But at least she was always on me and I knew what to expect. So it didn't bother me when she was always on me. It pushed me. It was consistent. So it's the consistency piece, okay? Does that make sense? So if it's as long as it's consistent, you know. Yes?
I feel like for me, it's like if it's constructive and like giving me something to do in the situation that was different than what I did before, instead of just yelling like, why did you do that?
Yeah. The why you did it, the come-ons, you got to do better. They know. They're Division I student athletes. They all probably have their different whys and what they want to get out of soccer, but none of them are trying to sabotage each other's performance or the coach's performance. They want to win too. And I think we sometimes forget that. And just because they're not playing well or not consistent, they could be because they care so much they're in the red. I find very rarely at this level green. Every now and then you'll waltz into practice though, right? Now you're not, because now you know we can't be going in playing in green. Right? Oh.
No, I just have something else to add.
Oh, go, add.
I feel like it comes like positional too. Like if everyone's like the forwards can't score, we start to like kind of believe that.
Okay. So if you start to hear our forwards suck and they can't score, then guess what? You're not going to score. Who's our forwards? Yeah. Oh, you? Of course you said that, yeah. So we do have to be very weary of what we're saying. Okay, I'm going to stay around. Can we please give a round for them because that was not easy. Really good, you guys. Really, really, really good. Proud of you. That was good. All right. Thank you. I'll stick around if anyone has follow-up questions or you want to talk more in detail about some of the other things that you can do.